I waited 8 months to ask for a promotion and it literally cost me $12,000. I'm going to give you the exact 4-step framework, 5-minute conversation that I had with my boss that eventually got me the promotion that I wanted. So you don't make the same mistake that I did. So I'm a senior HRBP and they're hiring for an employee relations leader role. Keep in mind at this point, this was my dream role. But as HRBP, I am required to be on the hiring team for this role. So I was literally helping them to hire for the role. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm right here. The fact that they didn't offer me the role tells me that maybe they don't want me in that role. Like, what if I ask and they say no? Like, I had all these thoughts going on in my head. So I was venting to my mentor, and she's like, Nikki, does your boss even know you want the role? This is not even something I thought about. I'm like, why wouldn't they know that I want the role? She's like, your boss is not a mind reader. Have you asked her? And she was right. I hadn't asked because I just assumed that they knew that I wanted the role. And she taught me this 4-step conversation framework that I'm going to share with you right now. So I walk into my manager's office. This conversation, by the way, took all of like 5 minutes just because I was so prepared and ready to have this conversation. And this is how it went. So step 1, state your intentions. I know it sounds like extremely obvious, but a lot of times we beat around the bush. Like, state your intentions clearly. So for instance, in this situation, I went in and said, I know we're hiring for the employee relations leader role externally. However, I would like to be considered for the role. Step 2, this I think is the most crucial one of all. This is the step that a lot of people miss when they're asking for promotion. Data, data, data. Write it down. Make sure you save this post so you don't forget. Show your impact. So here's what I said to my boss. I've been handling over 70% of the ER cases that are coming into the team anyway. Over the last 6 months, I've been able to reduce our investigation timeline by over 40%. In addition, I just finished launching a leadership training for our managers, which has reduced our complaints by over 30%. So by showing her the data that I was already doing the work that this person was going to come in and do, and I was doing it well with quantifiable progress, was able to help her both see that I could do the role, but also give her the opportunity to advocate for me with her leaders. Step 3, don't miss this one. A lot of people are shy to ask for this one. Ask for the development gap. So here's what you could say. What would I need to demonstrate to be fully ready for this role? This is very, very important because that gives you the cheat code. It gives you the blueprint for how you can get this promotion. So your boss could say one of 2 things. 1, they could say you already have the skill sets for the role. 2, they could say you need to develop XYZ. If they say you need to develop something to be ready for the role, that's where we get into step 4, create accountability. So you can ask them, thanks for sharing that insight. I will work on it over the next 60 days. Can we revisit this conversation in 60 days? So you pose it to them. Don't shy away from the conversation. And then in 60 days, you go back. Whatever amount of time you feel will be enough for you to demonstrate whatever gaps they've identified is the amount of time that you share with them. I'll be offering you 5 CEO mindset shifts that you can use right now. Right now at your job. Like, you go to work tomorrow morning, one of these 5 could be used start to nudge you along the way. All right, let's talk about 5 CEO mindset shifts. The first one I call a morning CEO check-in. What does that mean? Now, if you're like me, you probably get to work in the morning, you journal, you look at your to-do list, and you get right to work. Well, here is one question I want you to always ask yourself in the morning before you start working. What is my mission today? What needle am I moving? The second shift I want to offer is called a triple option approach. What does that mean? For a lot of us, when we give suggestions, like we go through an analysis and you're like, okay, I think this is the best possible option. Most times when you share it, just share your option, it kind of leaves some questions on the table. The leadership team doesn't just want to know what answer you got to, they also want to know your process. They want to know how you get there. And so the solution to that is this triple option framework or triple option approach, where you offer 3 suggestions and 1 recommendation. So you can say, I went through the analysis. These are the 3 suggestions I recommend. These are some pros, some cons. This is how I'm thinking about it. And based on my experience, I recommend X. That shows you're critical and strategic. The third one I want to offer is an impact translation framework. Impact translation framework basically means don't just show the amount of effort you put into something, also help the organization see how that effort amounted to value for them. So instead of "I worked really hard on this project," you could say, "Based on the effort that I put into this project, we were able to yield a 15% increase in efficiency." We're both saying the same thing, but for one person, they're talking about the amount of effort as well as the corresponding value. Because we can put a lot of effort into things, it doesn't mean that you lose value. So you need to be able to connect the dots for the organization. The fourth tip I want to offer is a strategic time audit. A lot of us are busy bees. There's always something to do. I feel like there's always something to do. But how often do we stop ourselves and ask, am I in task mode or am I driving strategy? Because two people can be extremely busy. One person may be moving the needle on the strategy and the objectives of the organization, and the other person may be just doing busy work. And the last nugget that I want to offer is a daily visibility review. Now, like me, who used to have trouble just being visible in the workplace, if you have that issue, end each day asking yourself a question. How did I show up today? Where did I use my voice today? Where did I lead today? You may have had 10 encounters today, but only used your voice or led in one of them. And that's fine. The point here is to acknowledge the effort that you're putting into becoming more visible in the workplace. I call these micro steps towards thinking like a CEO, but these steps compound over time. Today, they're steps or mindset shifts that you heard. You do them, they eventually become habits, and after a while, they just become a part of you. So, my encouragement to you is take one of these mindset shifts and employ them tomorrow.